Hey, it's Rav. Welcome to the Everyday Investor TV show, the hottest investment show in the world. That's right, I said it. I don't care who knows it. This show is designed to help us grow our money. Now, we only have 22, 23 minutes of teaching time because we've got to add in commercials, and that's what makes the 30-minute show. So we're going to teach, but we don't have time to answer your questions. So we've got a solution. everydayinvestor.com. Sign up for the Everyday Investor Summit happening October 29th, where we have 7 different strategies to teach you in order to grow your money. It's basically free. Light lunch, lunch is provided. Light breakfast, lunch is provided. You don't want to miss this, because this will be a place where you get to have all of your questions answered. We're going to teach you how I'm making over 20% annualized returns on some of the projects, whether it's land development, investing in apartment buildings, the rent-to-own strategy. Imagine having an insurance policy, a death benefit for your loved ones that continues to grow, but you can borrow against that policy and invest it in real estate. You'll learn how to make money with stock options. You'll learn how to make money with pre-construction condos. Imagine having money spit out to you every single month. Cash flow, investing in mortgage. There's a ton of knowledge. That's all it's about. Teach. Nothing to sell. I want to see you there October 29th. Coming up, we're talking to Darren Mitchell, who teaches us how we can control our money and get great compound growth at the same time.
You are your number one asset. You are the golden goose. You want to know where to invest money? Make yourself better. Make yourself a better employee. If you're a real estate investor, join a real estate investing group. Spend some money, get a coach.
The mortgage world has changed. Has your advice? Are you looking for a modern approach to your mortgage planning process? Advice tailored to your unique, ever-changing circumstances? Whether you're upsizing, downsizing, purchasing, or refinancing, the Kyle Ford Mortgage team works with individuals and companies to custom tailor the right mortgage product for you. Working with a wide selection of lenders, we're here to serve our clients and help them achieve their real estate and retirement goals. Contact the Kyle Ford Mortgage team today, Canada's mortgage choice.
Hi, welcome back to Everyday Investor with Darren Mitchell. Rav's not here today. So I'm going to be talking about infinite banking again. And for those of you who missed the first 2 episodes I did, I encourage you to check that out. Just go to everydayinvestor.com. What is wrong with financial planning was the first one. And the second one was an introduction to the infinite banking concept. Well, in this episode, I'm going to do a quick recap of that, and then we're going to dig into real estate investors and how they use infinite banking. I'm going to show you exactly how it works, and I'm going to give you a couple examples. Okay, so if we kind of recap what we talked about last time, I believe it's pretty simple. If you want to be wealthy, do what the wealthy people do. Pretty simple, right? Well, Tony Robbins says success leaves clues. So let's look at wealthy people and see how did they become wealthy. And we have all of our wealth coaches at Control and Compound do this. You think of every wealthy person you know, and I promise you almost every single one, if not every single one, has done it one of 3 ways. The number one place that you should be investing your money is in yourself. You are your number one asset. You are the golden goose. You want to know where to invest money? Make yourself better. Make yourself a better employee. If you're a real estate investor, join a real estate investing group. Spend some money, get a coach. Watch some free webinars. We've got some at controlandcompound.com. Everyday Investor's got all kinds of free videos there. Check these videos out. Find like-minded people. Invest in yourself. If you make yourself better, that's going to result in millions of dollars over your lifetime. Make yourself a better investor, millions of dollars. People get worked up about whether their $10,000 RSP contribution did 4 or 6%. The second thing people do to become wealthy, they start a business. Okay? So you can start a business. That's how a lot of people become wealthy. And the third thing we're going to emphasize today, what about real estate? Well, if 80 or 90% of millionaires and billionaires did it through real estate, don't you think it makes sense to at least understand and take a look at real estate and see if it can add to your wealth? Okay? So your business in real estate, that's how you make money. Now I want to introduce you to a concept called the and asset. The and asset, we're going to use this in the infinite banking concept. The product we're actually going to use is a specially designed high cash value life insurance. And this is a really unique product where we drive down the death benefit and we try to drive up the cash value as much as we can. But let's look at the other assets most people have. Most people have these different wealth buckets. So you get your house, maybe you have some RSPs, you've got some real estate, maybe a business, and then just some other stuff. All of these assets are or assets. Do I put money into real estate or do I invest in myself and get a coach? Do I put money in my RSP or do I put money in my business? Every decision is an or decision. Which investment do you do, this or that? When it comes to this specially designed cash value life insurance where you store your money, it becomes an and asset. So this life insurance contract is where you park your money first, your cash value grows, and then you can leverage 90% of that and invest in real estate, business, invest in yourself, your business in real estate. So you put the money in the insurance contract first, it compounds completely tax-free for the rest of your life. You leave it there, you don't use your own money, you borrow against the cash value up to 90% guaranteed, and you put that money into you, business, real estate, or some opportunity, okay? So we're looking for opportunities and expenses or emergencies if required, but opportunities is where we want to focus. Okay, so that's the and asset. Now let's talk about compounding. So if we think of compounding, we got this compound interest curve, okay? That's what we want to stay on. Wealthy people know this. The key word here is uninterrupted. We don't want to interrupt our compounding. And what are the 4 things that interrupt our compounding? I call these the wealth destroyers. I have a whole chapter in my book, Be the Bank, about this. The 4 things that erode your wealth are taxes, fees, volatility, and spending. So if you don't get a handle on taxes, fees, volatility, and spending, it's really tough to get ahead. So let's look at an example. What most people do is they divide their money into short-term buckets, cash sitting in the bank, and long-term buckets, like an RSP, where they put it away and wait 30 or 40 years. Well, with this specially designed cash value whole life, we're able to accomplish both short-term goals as well as long-term goals. So let's give an example. Let's say $25,000 was invested, or $25,000 was deposited somewhere. In about 50 years, at 5.1%, that would grow to $300,000. So that's just one deposit of $25,000. So when we talk about lost opportunity cost, this is a big one. What happens if you waited 10 or 15 years before you invested that money? Or what happens if you had huge market volatility and it went down? Or what happens if you had to cash out of that investment? Well, you go right back to zero and you restart the compounding. We want to stay on that compound interest curve. So let's look at that opportunity cost, what the effect of those wealth destroyers are. So first, let's look at tax. So if you were paying 50% tax on the growth of that $25,000, not on the 25, but just on the growth, and if you paid 50% tax for the next 50 years, this is what it would look like. You would grow to about $62,000. Not $300,000, $62,000. So when I say tax is your number one wealth destroyer and you're going to get a handle on it, this is what I mean. Now what about fees? How do fees impact your wealth? Well, if we look at the average mutual fund out there, it's about a 2% fee. So if you were earning 5.1% and had a 2% fee, what would that look like? Well, with a fee of 2%, instead of growing to $300,000, your money would grow to $73,000. That's huge, okay? Fees severely impacted. Now, there's going to be fees on the specially designed whole life, but instead of 2%, they're about 0.14. So extremely low fees. Now, volatility is a big one, and you can appreciate the up and down of the market is going to severely impact your values. I'm not going to get into it here, but if you want to learn more, just go to YouTube and you can check out my videos on volatility buffer, talks about volatility in retirement, or average versus actual return. There's another great one to show you the impact of volatility. And then the final one is spending. So if we look at spending, we'll look at spending both while you're working as well as retirement. So let's say 15 years from now, all of a sudden a great opportunity came along and you had to cash that investment out to take advantage of that opportunity. If you did that after 15 years and went right back to zero, cashed out your investment, you interrupted the compounding, and then you put that money back in, you're going to grow to about $142,000. So great, you took advantage of that opportunity, but the opportunity cost of stopping that compounding cost you almost $160,000. So it's not just the money you lose or the money you stop compounding today, it's what that money could have grown to. Now let's look at retirement. So what about retirement? Well, Darren, we got to spend money in retirement, right? Well, let's look at an RRSP versus when we do the infinite banking concept with this cash value life insurance. So with an RRSP, most people are going to start spending their money when they reach retirement. So let's say it's 65 years old. You compound till 65, and then what do? Well, then you start shrinking your compounding. If you get $1 million, next year you get 950, 900, 800. So the growth on your portfolio shrinks every year. Now, what about this specially designed cash value life insurance? How do we spend that money in retirement? Well, there's all kinds of ways we can spend that in retirement. I put 5 in my book, 5 different ways to spend it. But let's look at one, an easy one. What if we borrow against the cash value, which is a very popular one? Those loans against the cash value are tax-free, and you can pay them back when you want, how you want, and if you want. We'll dig into more on that in a minute. But let's talk about retirement. Instead of stopping or stunting the compounding, what we're going to do with the infinite banking concept in this policy is once you reach retirement, we're still going to compound, hopefully for another 20, 30, 40 years. We're never going to interrupt the compounding. But you still need money to live. So what we're going to do is we're going to borrow against the value of that. And again, we can get 90% no questions asked. So now we borrow against it, and we take tax-free loans each and every year, top up our retirement income, an extra $50,000 or $100,000 a year, depending upon how big your policy is. And that money you receive doesn't affect your government benefits, doesn't show up as an income, tax-free money. Then at death, now you've had 50 years of compound interest on the cash value, and the death benefit's going to be higher than the cash value. The death benefit is going to be huge. The death benefit pays off that outstanding loan, and then there's a bunch of tax-free money left that goes to your family to look after final expenses, taxes on those income properties. That's how we use infinite banking for real estate. When we come back, I'm going to dig into real-world examples.
Hey guys, Omar Khan here from Data Trading. I'm really excited to be part of the Everyday Investor Summit, Sunday, October 29th, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Myself, Toor, and 6 other industry professionals will be talking all about wealth creation. Yours truly will be talking about options. I'll be there to answer your questions all day. Tickets are only $197. We're expecting a full house. That does include a light breakfast and a full lunch. And as Warren Buffett says, the more you learn, the more you earn. So I hope to see you there.
Hey, it's Rav. A few years back, I learned about trading stock options by taking the Theta Trading course. My son, my friends, myself, all of us benefited immensely by applying their strategies, and I want you to have that same benefit by taking their course as well. I'm not receiving any monetary benefit whatsoever by telling you this. It's just that, as you know, I believe that knowledge mitigates risk. Visit their site to find out more.
Now, everybody knows that location is king when it comes to real estate, and all locations are definitely not the same. What we have for you, launching early September, is Park Road Condos. Now, this is going to offer lifetime unobstructed views. That's right, in a city that has the most cranes pretty much in North America. Flat iron design, timeless, classic, exuding luxury. Close to 300 units and close to 30 stories of probably what we're going to see as one of the most beautiful buildings of our generation. Park Road Condos, brought to you by Capital Developments, launching September 14th. First Access Condos and Everyday Investor get you front of the line. Don't be second.
Hi, it's Darren Mitchell. Welcome back to Everyday Investor. Okay, let's continue the conversation on infinite banking for real estate investors. So let's think about real estate investors. What are real estate investors? What are they all looking for? Well, let's make a list. Number one, they need to save or store their money someplace, right? They've got cash flow coming in. They're going to need that in the short term. Roof goes on a building. They're going to need to store that, but they're going to need to store it someplace that's liquid and safe. Okay, if you're a real estate investor and you've got money, you really can't put it in the stock market. Stock market drops 40% next year. That's not going to work for your real estate opportunities. So we want it safe, we want it liquid. I call this an opportunity fund. Now you can call it an opportunity/emergency fund. Opportunity fund's a little sexier. But people ask, how much do I have to put in? And I'm like, well, how big of an opportunity do you want to take advantage of? So this is, I believe, the perfect place to store your money. I want to take advantage of big opportunities, so I'm putting a lot of money in here. What else do real estate investors have? They've got big taxes at death. If you have income properties and you die, you're going to pay a boatload of tax. Well, cash value life insurance comes with a big death benefit at death, so there's going to be that tax-free money come in. Real estate investors also have assets. They usually have a home and some rental properties. Well, one of the things we really don't talk about a lot for this infinite banking concept and the cash value life insurance is there is a death benefit, and the death benefit tends or grows very large. Well, when do you have to pay taxes? When you die. When does life insurance pay? When you die. So you get a big bag of money just when your family needs it the most. So that's going to take care of that. And then finally, let's talk about the loan terms. Picture being a real estate investor, and the only person you need to convince to lend you money is the person in the mirror. Because when you have this cash value life insurance and you want a loan, it's guaranteed, no questions asked. And here's the best part of the loan. The loan is unstructured. Okay? What does that mean? It means you pay that back when you want, how you want, and if you want. I want to say that again. That's huge. You pay the loan back when you want, how you want, and if you want. Secondly, it's tax deductible. If you're using the loan for real estate investing or business purposes or investing purposes, it's tax deductible. Another big one for real estate investors, it's uncallable. What if COVID comes back and tenants stop paying rent? What if there's an amazing opportunity you need to take advantage of? Well, you can stop that loan payment, you can restart it, you can pay off the whole thing as much as you want, and nobody can call that loan if things are down or you lose your job or your financial circumstances change. So that's what we're going to try to do here. Now, if you think of it, really what we're trying to do, we're trying to control our money, make sure it doesn't drop substantially before we need to use it. In a perfect world, we're trying to multiply our money, that and asset opportunity we talked about. Third thing we want to do is we want to compound it. The key again, uninterrupted compounding. So we want to control it and asset and compound. That would be a great name for a company, control and compound. Sorry. All right, so how does this work? Let's get into some examples. So with this infinite banking concept, we're saying you've got to store your money someplace. We think the best place is this cash value life insurance policy. Take some dollars, put it in the insurance policy, compounds forever, and then once you build up a base there, you go to the insurance company, use their money, not yours, and you go do the real estate. That's my real estate drawing there. Now, we do that. We use the cash flow or a refinance opportunity to repay the loan. Once we do that, we rinse and repeat. We do another one. Time you get to the third one, you're paying off that loan in a year or less. Think of the amount of jobs you're doing with this. Real estate's hopefully appreciating. Maybe you do a renovation on the property, make it more valuable. Hopefully you have some cash flow coming in. You have the tax benefits, get to write off depreciation and interest. You get the tenants paying down your principal, your mortgage is going down, and you get the power of leverage. You're putting down 20% down and you're getting 100% of the growth. But what about inside the insurance policy? What are we doing? Well, we're also uninterrupted compounding there. It's going to grow the exact same whether you have a loan or not. Okay? Death benefit. Okay? Loans do not affect borrowing capacity. Huge for real estate investors. So when you borrow from your cash value for a down payment, the banks don't consider that a loan. That is huge. Maybe you have some term insurance. Well, this comes with a big death benefit. Maybe at some point you can eliminate the term insurance. I was able to do that. So that's the concept. We're going to put some money inside this specially designed cash value life insurance, not like your mom and dad's life insurance. Then we're going to leverage 90% of the insurance company's money, buy real estate, repay the loan, rinse, and repeat. So let's go look at some examples. Private lending is a big one. People like to do private lending. I'm a private lender myself. Let me tell you about a private lending opportunity. I had a chance to loan $100,000 to a developer for a renovation on an income property, on an apartment building. He was raising $1 million, but I took $100,000. 15% return 1 year. Great return, had good collateral, made sense. But I didn't use my money. I called up the insurance company and I said, I have this cash value insurance policy, it's compounding tax-free, that I know I'm going to be set for retirement and a tax-free retirement. I want to leave that there. I want you, the insurance company, to give me money for this private lend. I borrowed $100,000 from the insurance company, no questions asked, guaranteed loan. I took that loan, I loaned it to the developer. Year later, got a check for $115,000, paid the insurance company back their $100,000 and about $5,000 in interest at the time. $115,000, paid back $105,000, pocketed $10,000, and how did that affect my insurance policy? It didn't. That continued to compound tax-free for me. That is an and opportunity. Next one we're going to look at is pre-construction. Pre-construction, typically condo, GTA, Vancouver maybe, okay? How do those work? Well, you put about 5% down typically for 3 or 4 years. Then you actually get the mortgage at the end of that 4 years when it's actually built, or 5 years or whatever. So I bought a $750,000 condo. First year I had to come up with $38,000. Didn't use my money, called the insurance company up, borrowed $38,000. Okay? The interest on that was about $1,600. Now that interest was a tax deduction because I was using it as an investment property. So that $1,600 cost me about $800. So I secured a $750,000 condo in year one for $800, okay? Power of other people's money. Second year, I took another $38,000 loan and another. So over those 4 years, it's going to cost me about $16,000 in interest that I'm going to write off. So it's going to cost me about $8,000. So what happened in those 4 years? Well, the condo went up about $250,000. So now when I go to get the mortgage, I'm able to get a mortgage for the entire purchase price of the condo, the $750,000. I take $150,000, pay off the loan, $600,000 for the rest of the payment on the mortgage. My loan is paid off. My cash value for retirement was not affected. That's an and opportunity. Another one, if you watch the show, we love here at Everyday Investor, is land development. So how would infinite banking concept and this cash value life insurance help me with land development? Well, typically land development, you put some money in and you're looking to double your money in 3, 4, 5 years, depending upon the opportunity. So let's just use a simple one and say, I'm going to use $100,000 for a land development deal. Okay? Don't use your own money. Call the insurance company up and say, hey, can I have $100,000? They're going to charge you today somewhere between 7, 8, 9% interest, depending upon the company, depending upon when you're watching this. But let's just say it's 8%. So that's $8,000. Now, that $8,000 interest, once again, it's tax deductible. The $100,000 loan's guaranteed. The 8%, $8,000 is tax deductible. So if you're in a 50% tax bracket, it's going to cost you about $4,000. Okay? So $4,000 times, let's say 4 years, that's $16,000 was your out-of-pocket here. Well, what did your land development deal do? Well, if it worked like it was supposed to, your 100 turned into 200. Now you have $200,000, pay off the insurance company's loan, you have $100,000 and you paid $16,000, less interest, $8,000, an incredible return. Works great for land development. Same thing's gonna work for a flip or a burr. You need money for a down payment, you need money for renovations. Don't look for hard money, don't go to the bank begging. You go to your infinite banking concept with your cash value life insurance and you say, I'm gonna borrow against my cash value myself. Another and opportunity. We want to multiply dollars, and those multiplied dollars, we want to do multiple jobs. That's how we collapse time and achieve in 10 years or 15 years what people take 50 or 60 years to. Infinite banking and real estate investing, the perfect combination.
And now it's time for our teaching tip of the week.
What's going on? Kyle Ford here. I'm here to talk to you today about the CapGap Mortgage Trust. You've seen the posts, you've seen the videos, you've heard me talking about it, and I want to make sure you have an opportunity to get all the details and all your questions answered. I hear it all the time. Kyle, I'd love to do CapGap, but I don't have time for real estate. CapGap is for you. It's a passive solution that allows you to invest in real estate without time. I also hear, Kyle, I love to invest in real estate, but I don't want to deal with tenants. CapGap Mortgage Trust is the solution for you. You can lend your money secured on real estate, no tenants, no toilets, no termites. Or what I hear more than anything, I'd love to do this, I just don't have any cash. Did you know that the CapGap Mortgage Trust is RRSP, TFSA, LIRA, LIF, RIF, or any other registered account that Olympia Trust will administer? We can invest in CapGap. So if you're looking to get secured returns on real estate, starting at 8 up to 14%, CapGap Mortgage Trust is a solution for you. Make sure to reach out, hit the links below, send me a DM, and we're here to help.
Great stuff, always great to learn. That's all the time we have. I want to thank you guys for watching. Without you, we would not have a show. Make sure you go to everydayinvestor.com, sign up for the summit that's happening October 29th. Watch this show again, watch any past shows, kind of like on demand. Until then, we'll see you next week, same place, same time. Honey, I love you. I'll be home soon. Bye, everyone.